Hey, what's going on, guys? I appreciate you stopping by. I've been thinking about doing this video for a few weeks, and uh, I decided, obviously, to go ahead and do it. And it's almost a call to action. It's me passing on my thoughts and things that I am working on, things that I am doing that I think are important because I do believe that we have some very, very difficult times coming ahead. We're already in difficult times for a lot of people, but I think what we have coming goes well above and beyond anything that most people are contemplating right now or forecasting. I absolutely could be wrong. I hope I am. But I've had numerous people, some that are close to me, and others not so much, that are saying things like, it's got to come to a head at some point. I don't know what it is, but it's everything. Every time I sit down and I do some research on, what's going on in the world, whether in the United States, in my region, or globally, it's stuff in the Middle East, it's oil prices, it's problems with energy infrastructure, it's problems with crops, it's problems with certain, cattle or the poultry business. There's things that are causing interruptions to that particular industry and lowering supply, which means price is going to go up. It's inflation. It's bank closures. It's the constant reduction and infiltration of our rights. You're hearing about AI and what that is going to have as far as an impact on us in the future. And I mean, there's so many other things. It's interest rates. It's the national debt. It's the yearly federal deficit. It's the division within our populace that just continues to grow. And it just feels like also that the pace in which we are experiencing all these things, this change that happens, is speeding up. So not only are there more and more things that are occurring that I would say are negative, that could impact us in a negative manner, but it's speeding up. And I've used the analogy many times before. It's like having a snowball that starts rolling down a hill, and it's small. But as it's rolling, it's getting bigger, but it's going faster. And that seems like that's what is happening in the world with all of these different events. And there's a lot of people out there that are just sitting around and either ignoring it and maybe they're just trying to, survive and deal with stress, or they're just completely ignorant of it, and they don't even pay any attention. They don't pay enough attention to realize what's happening. And I think that is going to be a problem should things really go bad, as I expect. And by the way, I'm not making any kind of specific prediction on a specific event or time frame, but I feel like it's sooner rather than later. And so this video, I'm calling on people, I'm calling on you to prepare, to get ready. And if you've somebody like me who has been preparing and you've done many of the things that are common sense when it comes to preparedness, I'm calling on you to step it up, as I am. I definitely feel the sense of urgency, and I feel the need to step it up to the maximum that I can. I'm on a budget just like everybody else, most people, and I can't do everything. So I'm going to do what I can. So we need to prepare, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about when it comes to this call to action and getting ready for whatever it is that is going to happen in the future, I'm going to talk about food and food storage. Food is something that, we have to have. And I think everybody really needs to take a look at where their food is coming from. I mean, we have trucks that are crossing this country, and our food isn't coming just from farms here in the United States. A lot of it is, but a lot of it is coming from overseas. It's coming from other countries. It's coming from Canada. It's coming from South America. It's coming from China. Don't eat that. It's coming from all over the world. And it's unfortunate that we are not food independent. We also have a problem where a lot of this food is coming from areas that if we have some kind of interruption to transportation, it's not going to make it to where you're at. Now think about, I live here in Maine, and I don't think that there's any orange trees in Maine. So if fresh oranges, if there's some type of interruption to transportation routes for any reason, I don't think the grocery stores are going to have fresh oranges or oranges at all. Yes, maybe you can go get some mandarin oranges in a can, but that's just an example. So we have a fantastic system as far as distribution of food. And, we can go into almost any grocery store and buy whatever we want. Very rarely are there shortages. There are sometimes, but it's rare. And it's usually for a short amount of time. And that distribution system works fantastic until it doesn't. And depending upon what happens, what occurs, what we face in the future, that distribution system could fail. So take a look at where your food's coming from and what you can do to stock up. If you can buy local, sometimes it's more expensive, but it's most certainly probably healthier and better for you. But stock up on food. I do a weekly installment of videos where I talk about 5 things that you can buy every week. You can go back through my old videos and check out some of these. And I just give examples of buying, your rice, your beans, your canned goods. Most all canned goods are going to last. They're very shelf stable, and they're going to last way past the best by date that's on the can. Pasta, your jars and cans of spaghetti sauce, your pancake mixes, your syrup, your honey, your flour. All these things you need to work on developing a very robust and substantial pantry and food storage program. You don't have to go out and buy freeze-dried food. You can. I've got numerous August and Farm 30-day buckets. I've got quite a few of them. But you don't have to do that, but you can. If you have a freezer or a couple of freezers, have them stocked. Rotate the food that's in there so you don't get freezer burn. So the other thing I'd mention is gardening. Now, this is being recorded towards the end of July, and there's not a whole lot of gardening season left. There's not much you can plant right now in most of the country to grow stuff, but there's next year. You can start now preparing for that. You can buy or build raised beds. You can till up ground. You can throw some compost in there over the winter, but you can plan on gardening next year. If you have a lack of space for a garden, maybe you can do some buckets or containers with tomatoes and cucumbers and squash. I've talked about that many times. I used to live full time in a camper. I had zero land, but I made some raised beds on the very small plot that I had the camper on, and I grew cucumbers, tomatoes, yellow squash, zucchini, herbs, lettuce. You can grow that stuff in a very small space. So it's just a piece of the puzzle. It's a piece of your food storage program. I talked about a freezer, and I don't see freezers really mentioned much when we talk about a pantry and a food storage program. But a freezer allows you can buy fresh from a farmer's market, peppers, for example, tomatoes, and you can freeze them. And especially if you vacuum pack them, they will last for quite a while. So corn, same thing. You can blanch it, freeze it, or just freeze it. But you can buy extra when it's in season, or just buy extra meat, for example, buying it on sale, throw it in that freezer. That can pay dividends in the long run, not only because you're buying it now when it's probably cheaper than it will be later, but you'll have it in case you need it. So, food. Make a plan, no matter where you're at with your food storage program, and step it up. The next topic is fuel. Now, diesel pretty much runs America. Diesel runs this country. If you see diesel prices beginning to inch up, probably everything else is also going to inch up. Whether it's food, parts for your vehicle, lumber, you name it, it's probably going to go up in price because it's being transported via diesel. So that is a key economic indicator to keep an eye on. The other part of fuel is to have some put back. Probably the vast majority of us, we cannot put back enough fuel to last, going back and forth to work and running errands and taking the kids to school and stuff like that for a month. It's just too much. That's not realistic. Having some extra fuel put back gives you a bridge. It could be a bridge between paychecks where you don't have the money to buy fuel, whatever it is, whether it's gas or diesel. It can it can buy you some time if we have a sudden shortage for some reason. And you've got a couple of vehicles and you've got 50 gallons put back. And you can fill up each vehicle and then still have, some left over. That can buy you some time to until the shortage corrects itself. You can also, I want to mention this when it comes to fuel, is try to be smarter when it comes to your fuel usage. And this is something lately I've been trying to do. I'm trying to keep the miles down on my truck. I drive a lot to get to work. But if you're going to go run some errands, plan your errands out and, say, hey, I got to go get the mail. I got to go to the lumber yard. Let me go run over to this store because I got to get that part. Oh, and then I need to stop by so-and-so's house and drop that off. Try to do it all in one trip instead of multiple trips that could actually use more fuel. And that will save you money now. But especially if we had, a sudden price increase or a shortage, you're going to want to do that. So fuel is something that, we're not going to store a lot of it to where we can not have to go buy gas at the gas station or diesel. But it can be valuable for a multitude of reasons that I mentioned. Oftentimes that storage can be a bridge. It can buy some time. So fuel. I like to keep at least each vehicle to have at least one full tank put back, at least, if not more. So that's my recommendation. And if your vehicle gets down to half a tank, go ahead and top it off. That way, if something happens, you've got at least half a tank in there. So next up on my list here is finances. Believe me, I know this is a difficult one. This can be extremely challenging, especially for those of us that maybe we did not do the right things at one time. People make mistakes, and what needs to happen is, if you didn't handle your finances correctly, then you need to face that, perform a correction, and move forward, and then do the right things. I think the challenges that we're going to face in the future, again, it's price increases, it's unemployment increases, it's career changes due to AI, and wages that are going to be stagnant or go down because people are having to change career paths and go into something that they have no experience with because of AI. I think that is absolutely going to be something that's going to happen. So getting out of debt, reducing debt is very, very important. And if you're in a situation where you have too much debt, and that's most of us, look into, and you can do some research on your own, to the debt snowball. And it's a way, I'm not going to go through it here, but it's a way of paying down debt that most people will find the most beneficial way of paying down debt. It's not the only way, but that's the most beneficial, in my opinion. The debt snowball. Just look up, go do some research, and there's tons of information out there. So the other thing is making decisions such as buying vehicles, buying something that's older and used rather than something new that you're going to have payments on, or big payments and long payments for 84 months. With high interest rates that we're experiencing right now, we just got to make smarter decisions and be more responsible, because we're looking to make good decisions now that will pay off in the future. Saving money, having that emergency cash fund. If you can afford to buy precious metals, I highly recommend it. There's a lot of people out there that'll say you can't eat silver, you can't eat gold. Well, no, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about financial decisions that will benefit you in the future. Certainly, if the zombies are walking around outside and, and that's what we're dealing with, no, maybe having some silver eagles put back isn't going to be very beneficial. But if we're talking about hard economic times, it could be very beneficial. So it's a choice. It's an option. I truly see that this is probably one of our biggest threats, is financial. And I'm right there. I'm still have quite a ways away before I retire. My line of work could be absolutely impacted by AI. So the other part of finances is looking into secondary streams of income. How can you make money in addition to your normal work? And if you're already self-employed, that's fantastic. Great job. But if you're not, then look into other ways of making money. Later on today, after filming this video, I'm setting up at a local, it's almost like a farmer's market, and I'm selling chicken accessories for people that have chicken, roosting trees and roosting bars and all kinds of things. We're actually selling some of our vegetables out of the garden, and just a few. And we're going to try it, and we're going to see how it goes. I don't know if it'll be successful or not, but these are things that I've sold before. And if it goes well, then I'll set up at other events. And it's just a piece of the puzzle. It's a secondary stream of income. And the goal would be to have numerous streams of income coming in. So all your eggs are not in one basket. So that's finances. Now, I was talking about job loss and AI and employment. And I've been in management and manufacturing for a long time. And I strongly suggest if you have a decent job, you may hate it, but if it's paying the bills, do what you can to keep it. Make the company that you are working for happy while you're there. Don't risk losing that job. In addition to that, I would seriously suggest that you update your resume. Update your resume and make it, I'm not telling you to lie on the resume, but make sure that it accurately reflects your capabilities. And if you're doing the resume and you realize, I could probably learn a little bit more about this, and I could probably learn a little bit more about that, then do that. You're watching this right now on YouTube. YouTube is free, and there is so much information on YouTube. Almost anything you want to know about, you can find it. So if you're not sure how to do X, look it up, watch some videos, make sure you understand it, put it on that resume. That is a skill set that you have or some knowledge that you have about that. I truly believe that AI can be used for a lot of good things. It can be very, very useful. It's not much different than when word processing came out and spell check and stuff like that. However, I think we all know it's going to go way beyond that. And I think it's going to be dangerous. I think that AI is going to create a societal change, definitely impacting employment. And I think most people have no idea how big a change it is coming. And I think it's going to be soon. I think we're already seeing it with a lot of layoffs. And I think it's going to ramp up very, very quickly. So the better you can put yourself into a position that employers are going to want you, the sooner you can do that, the better. So secondary streams of income, update your resume, very, very important. So I mentioned cash when I was talking about finances. And I want to talk about that again because when I am perusing social media and I'm looking at different preparedness videos and you hear all of this stuff talking about the US dollar is worthless, it's fiat currency, you got to put your money in tangibles, which I don't disagree with. I think tangibles are important. If you're not familiar with what tangibles are, I did a video on it, but I'll tell you real quick, tangibles are just hard assets. If you're on a farm, on a homestead, and you've got shovels and a variety of different tools, tillers and stuff like that, those are tangibles. Canning supplies are tangibles. These are things that you can use to survive. But cash is king. I have stocked up on a lot of ammunition over the years. I have a lot of defensive tools. And so far, I have not run into a life problem that ammunition has bailed me out of. I needed cash. So I don't think that's going to change a whole lot. I think at some point it could, but in the near future, if you have brakes that need to be replaced, you need to get new tires for the upcoming winter season. You need to pay for some medicine because somebody is sick. You need to buy fuel. You need cash. So having a cash reserve is very, very important. And it can be super difficult, especially in today's economic world. I know there are people out there that have made incredibly smart decisions and they're well off, they're wealthy, they're debt free. That's great. Unfortunately, there's many of us that are not, and we didn't make the right decisions. So you got to start somewhere, and that somewhere can start today. And look at your expenses, cut back, put money aside. A dollar put to the side today is a dollar you'll have tomorrow. Keep doing that. And maybe your first goal is to have a $500 emergency cash reserve. Maybe it's 1,000. Maybe it grows to 3,000 and then to 10,000. Keep it going. But you got to prioritize and have that cash reserve. I have not talked a whole lot about defensive tools on this YouTube channel, but it's extremely important. And I have to be careful what I say because YouTube, they are extremely strict. And if you say certain things, you show certain things, you can have your channel removed. So I'm going to speak, this is going to be quick. You need to have defensive tools. You need to have all the things that go along with defensive tools. And one of those things is training. There are far too many people out there, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but if I do, it is what it is. There are far too many people out there that have a defensive tool and they have spent a lot of money on it or not. They have all the things that goes with it, and they think, I'm good. I'm good. If it ever comes a time, and I think that may happen, that I and my people, I'll talk more about that, but I and my people may need to use these defensive tools to protect the property and protect our supplies and protect ourselves. Yeah, no problem. I got it. I got it. When the reality is they don't have it. If you're one of those people, seek out training. I mentioned already that YouTube has a ton of videos on all kinds of things. Now, they've certainly gotten strict, but just the internet, there's tons of videos out there on defensive tool training. It's much better to go get in person. I've taken numerous classes, a lot of classes, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Seek out and get good training. But if you can't, for some reason, look at books, watch videos, get outside and practice to the limit that you can. Because having the mindset that you have the ability to do something, but never actually having done it, it's not going to work out well. So if you have the defensive tools and all the things that go with it, that's absolutely a great start. You need to have that. And I highly recommend it. But you got to have the training and the skills to use it effectively. Make sure you don't overlook that. Next up on my list is community and networking. Absolutely, I can be talking about the town that you live in and knowing people. I think that's extremely valuable. It's something that I've not done enough. I'll admit it. I know people around the area, but I really need to focus more on that and get to know people and have people that if something were to happen, they own farms. They, have chickens and they have goats and they have all the things, mechanics and, you name it. That is an area I will admit that I have not done enough with. And it's also having a MAG. And if you don't know what that acronym stands for, it's Mutual Assistant Group. It's having a group of people that if we were to experience some type of bad times, something that this video would come in handy for if you've watched it. It's people that can come together and support each other and be there for each other. Now, oftentimes, MAGs, this friends, and it's people that know each other. It's family. That's great, but it's good to kind of identify who those people are and maybe bring them in the fold and talk to them about, hey, I know you're big into hunting and stuff. What would you do if, all of a sudden we had, I don't know if you've seen in the movies and stuff, this EMP thing and cars aren't driving around, most cars. What would you do? And talk about that and then bring them in the fold and maybe get them to stock up on some of the supplies and eventually get it to where you've got a group of people that maybe are coming to your place, or you've identified some place that if something really, really bad happened, hey, everybody's going to go there and wait this thing out. MAGs can also be really useful when things are okay. If you've got somebody that's in the group that has a tiller and you're starting a garden next year and you need a tiller, you need to borrow a tiller rather than going to Home Depot and renting one, for $125 for a day or whatever the price is. Maybe you can borrow this one and give them a case of beer or something. That's a way that people that are in a MAG in this group can support each other. So take a look and see what you can do there. I've already said, I admit that community is an area that I've not put enough attention in. I'm going to correct that. So we have 2027 just around the corner. It's really not that far away. It's crazy how fast time goes by. And I mentioned, this is kind of a call to action video. The viewer, I'm telling you, suggesting to you that you step it up and that you work on increasing your preps, increasing your level of preparedness. And if you're somebody that has done nothing up to this point, it is what it is. You can't go back in time, but you can start right now. So get going. And if you're somebody that has done a lot and you feel like you're pretty well prepared, take a look. Are there areas that you need to solidify, that you need to shore up, you need to improve? And if so, work on that. I didn't make this video. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I really try to come at these crazy times that we live in with some common sense, maybe some calmness, and some rational thinking in a world that seems to be becoming more and more irrational. Nobody knows what next year's going to bring. Nobody knows what next month's going to bring. But as I'm looking at 2027 and thinking about, what are my goals? What do I want to accomplish? What do I think might happen going into the new year? I definitely am stepping things up, as I've already said. I am doing things aggressively with determination to improve our food storage, to improve our level of readiness, to improve our security. Those are the things that, as I'm looking at areas that we need to improve in, those are the areas that I've identified and more. I think inflation is going to continue to increase. I think it could ramp up. We just had the Fed have a meeting, and they held interest rates steady, which means they're high. And I suspect that we're going to see the Fed increase interest rates at some point during the rest of the year, which is going to make things more expensive. So my call to action is everybody has a situation that's different. Take a look at the areas that I talked about. No doubt there are other areas that I did not include. And get out a pad of paper, get out a pen, maybe a cup of coffee, and brainstorm and jot down, hey, these are some of the things that I need to do over the coming months, maybe before 2027 gets here. You've got some time. And share below that which you're willing to share, what some of those things are. Because if you could share some of those things in the comment section, that will promote thought and maybe get somebody to look at that and go, oh yeah, that's right. I need to get that pizza sauce just in case. Pizza during the apocalypse. Hey, that'd be pretty good. So anyways, that's it. Folks, I think we're in for a wild ride, and we need to keep preparing. So I'm going to keep trying to put these videos out, talking about a variety of things, including this world of uncertainty that we live in, and getting ready for what might happen next. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Click that notification bell so you'll be made aware anytime I upload new content. But above all, you guys stay safe. Take care. We'll see you next time.
So I ran from the cities and the noise and lies, found a piece of ground under open skies, hands in the dirt, sweat on my shirt, learning what living's really worth. While crooked men shake hands in rooms, selling souls to corporate suits. Society's sick, but I found the cure. A back road life, honest and pure. They can keep their throne and their golden news. This life out here's my modern exodus. I traded screens for a sunrise, callous palms, blisters, pride, planted seeds where hope was.